Alright, now we are doing geometry section 1.4, angles and their measures. I should have erased all that. Don't be scared about all that if you're just joining us. So, remember I told you that in your geometry tools you need a compass and a protractor. And I told you need a ruler because this is a drawing class and you have to have your art tools also. They're not just math tools, they're art tools. You're going to draw pretty triangles and stuff like that. So do I have my geometry tools? Yes, I do. Alright, so I'm getting out my geometry tools, and what we're going to talk about, I don't know which one's going to show up on the camera. Okay, this one's my favorite one. It's my collection. This one's fun because it's got a little hole in it. I like this one because it's blue. I like this one because it's purple. Alright, I think the purple one, that's the one, that should show up and I should show it to you. My cameraman said thumbs up. I'm afraid my favorite won't show up. Alright, so this thing, as you can tell in your book, on the top of page 26 is our, this is our protractor. Where's our little thing? There it is. It's at the top of page 27. We're going to have a protractor postulate. Alright, so now we have talked about lines, now we're going to talk about angles, right? So an angle looks like this, and if it's made out of lines, if they're made out of rays, they go on to infinity. This pointy part is called the vertex, and so this pointy part we can label it A, and then this would be angle A. Ta-da! And that's the symbol for it. Okay, vertex, these are the sides, and we can measure that angle, how big it is, by taking our protractor and putting the vertex of the hole, or the dot, lining up the bottom with your bottom straight line and seeing where it is reading on our protractor. Now there's two sets of numbers. There's 140 and 40. The real answer here is this is 40 degrees. It's the smaller number. If it looks like the edge of a piece of paper, that's a 90-degree angle. So anything less than that will be less than 90. If it goes off this way, that would be where you're going to have your 140 angle that goes all the way here. That little curve I drew, you do that to show angles, which angle you're talking about, and also you write the degrees there. Now that little circle I put up there, this is 40 degrees, not 400. It's just like in Fahrenheit degrees when you're doing the weather. It's a little degree mark and it tells you it's the measure of an angle. A straight line is 180 degrees. You need to memorize that. And a right angle, which is shown by a little square corner, usually red, is 90 degrees. A full straight line is 180. A whole circle, if you go all the way around, is 360 degrees. You need to memorize all of those things. All right? Now then, so get out your protractor and use it and see if you can measure the angle that is at the bottom of page 26. It is 50 degrees. See if you can see if it makes sense using your protractor. You can pause this while you do it. Looks like it's 50 degrees on mine. Okay, so now continuing on page 27, the protractor postulate says now you are allowed to use a protractor. Okay, our next one is angle addition postulate. And just like we had our line segment addition postulate, that now we are being told that if you have two angles, we'll call this B, C, D. Okay, so I have two angles here. I have angle DAC, and how I can signify it is the letter on the outside, the vertex, the other letter on the outside, and I have another angle CAB. I always like it when they spell things, CAB. And now, because they share a common side, I'm allowed to add them up, and they would equal angle DAB, the whole thing. Ooh, dab. Nope, I'm not going to do it. Okay? Alright, does that kind of make sense? The camera acts like yes, it does. Alright, so then we have a little, so that's postulate 4. You're now allowed to add up angles. And they just had different letters than me. That little M that they put before that, they put little M's here. That stands for the measure. The measure of angle DAC plus the measure of angle CAB equals the measure of angle DAB. So sometimes they put that little M on there for certain things, meaning it's just a little bit more technically correct. No big deal. Alright, so then we have an example of where they added up the vision of a horse, and it was 100 minus 60, and his, I guess the part he can't see, no, that he can see from both eyes, 40 degrees. Alright, the next idea, let me look at my time, doing good, is talking about types of angles, classifying the angles. Oh, this is something I'll tell you. I'm a bad speller. I'm dyslexic, and I blame it on that. Slightly dyslexic, not terrible, but if I start writing backwards, you'll know what's up. I do it when I get too enthusiastic and not taking my time. Or if I'm like, just under a lot of stress, everything will start getting backwards. But anyway, I had a real hard time knowing how to spell angel and angle. Which one was angle and which one was angel? I finally thought of a little way to remember it. Is El Shaddai is one of the names of God in the Bible. So the angel has God's name in it. The math angle doesn't. So just to help you out if you're a bad speller like me. All of y'all are going, I learned that in 2nd grade. Well, it took me way longer than that. Probably college before I figured out the difference in those spellings. Alright, so let's talk about these angles, not angels. If an angle is, remember if it is 90 degrees, I already told you that this is called a right angle. If it is less than 90 degrees, it is called acute. The reason, so see that word cute in there? If something is acute, it is said to be sharp. Is how you remember this. If someone tells you, that's an acute observation, that means you said something smart. And the word cute actually started as a shortening of acute. So if you called a boy cute, you weren't calling him good looking, you were calling him smart. But that's one of the ways where language changes, because when people say Justin Bieber is cute, they are not saying he's smart. So, but that's where it came from. Now, the other one, if it's bigger than 90 degrees, see, bigger than 90 degrees, if this was an arrowhead, it would be dull. It's called obtuse. And if someone calls you obtuse, they're using fancy talk to call you stupid. So now you know, obtuse is like if this was an arrowhead, it'd be dull, where this one would be sharp. Acute means smart, obtuse means stupid, and this is a more than 90 degrees, that one's less. Now you're going to remember it, right? Justin Bieber and all that. Now I think this is dumb in your book. It says a straight angle, and they drew a straight line. That is never, again, called a straight angle anywhere but here. This is called a line. Alright, so is that it? Classifying angles, you can do that. Drawing angles, you're going to do that. Always make sure your pencil is sharp as you do this. When you take pictures of your homework to send me to look at, make sure that they're good pictures that I can see. And if I can't see it with your pencil, you're going to have to use pen. I really like math and pencil better, but if we have to use pen for this so I can see your homework, that's what we're going to do. Alright, so that is angles. Hope you found them interesting, and we'll do the next video about segments and angle bisectors. Math is fun.